to Agoracom Small Cap Breaking News, your daily go-to source for the best small cap headlines for over 65 million investors since 2007. Today, we are definitely cutting through the noise. We've got a really urgent deep dive for you. We're going through some of the most impactful drilling results, financial results from a selection of small caps. This is the kind of news that, well, it really warrants a closer look for any investor. Our mission here is to find those compelling nuggets, the things that could signal, significant value creation or maybe strategic shifts, basically giving you a head start on identifying opportunities for your own deeper research.
And that mission is absolutely critical right now, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Especially in this market. Understanding the why behind a headline, what the actual reported results mean. It's the key to being properly informed. We're here to help you sort of separate the signal from all that noise, look at the real substance.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So let's jump straight into it. First headline, this one's from Apex Critical Metals. It reads, Apex Critical Metals unveils major niobium discovery in British Columbia, signaling potential new North American supply source. The symbol is APXC, trading on the CSC exchange. Okay, so let's unpack this one. These drill results. Hole CAP25 ASA 006 at their CAP project, they're reporting 0.59% niobium pentoxide, that's Nb₂O₅ over 36 meters, and it starts shallower, just 33.5 meters downhole. But get this, within that, a higher grade bit, 1.08% Nb₂O₅ over 10 meters. Now, what does a grade like that, really mean for niobium, and why is it so important that the mineralization is open in all directions?
Well, yeah, those are good grades. But what's really fascinating here, I think, is the bigger picture for niobium itself. This isn't just, any metal. It's strategically vital. We're talking high-strength steel, crucial for aerospace, military gear, very important stuff. And the supply chain issue is huge. Okay. Over 85%, think about that. 85% of global supply comes from just one producer in Brazil.
Wow, 85%.
Exactly. So a discovery like this one from Apex in North America, it could genuinely be a game changer for supply security. Plus, it highlights these carbonatites. They're incredibly rare geological formations, fewer than 600 known worldwide, and they host the world's best niobium deposits. So finding one here with these grades, yeah, that's significant.
Right. So considering that whole strategic angle, what's the takeaway for you, the investor listening right now? The CEO, Sean Charlin, he's already pointing to existing billion-dollar valuations for similar niobium developers, in the ASX, NASDAQ. He sees those as potential benchmarks. That sounds like a pretty strong signal about the potential value here.
It is a strong signal. And remember, Apex is still waiting on more assay results. They've drilled another, 1,691 meters? Those results will be key to defining just how big this thing could be. But it does raise that important question, right? Even with promising early results, what are the hurdles, the long-term development and challenges for a critical metal like niobium? And how might Apex handle those?
That's a really critical point for investors thinking long-term.
Well, scaling up any big mineral find takes serious capital, right? And metallurgy can be complex, permitting takes time. But the strong grades they're seeing, the fact that it seems pretty expansive, and that crucial strategic demand for North American niobium, that could definitely attract major partners. That might even help streamline some of those typical development timelines for Apex. Seems like they have some real tailwinds.
Excellent points. Okay, let's shift gears. Moving from critical metals in Canada, let's look at another vital resource, this time over in Kazakhstan with Arras Minerals. The headline, Arras Minerals intercepts 154 meters of high-grade copper gold in Kazakhstan, signaling district-scale potential. Symbol there is ARRK on the TSX Venture Exchange. And Arras has reported some, really impressive numbers. Drill hole EL25014A at their Berezski North target, part of the Elemes Project. They hit 154 meters, grading 1.09% copper equivalent. That's CuEq, so they factor in the gold too. Starts pretty shallow again, 130 meters depth. And inside that, a higher grade core, 24 meters at 2.32% CuEq, and a really substantial 118 meters at 1.38% CuEq. And this isn't isolated. It builds on earlier results from Berezski Central. Remember that 578 meters at 0.42% CuEq. It really shows the potential scale here. So, expert, connecting these dots. What really stands out about these widths and grades, especially in this location?
Yeah, connecting this to the bigger picture. This significance of hitting those kinds of widths, those grades, especially at relatively shallow depths, you really can't overstate it. It screams district scale potential. We're talking an 8.8 kilometer trend here, the Berezski Trend. That's massive.
District scale, okay.
And what also jumps out is the infrastructure nearby. Highways, rail, grid power. That's a huge plus that de-risks things considerably. Oh, and the strategic alliance they have with Teck Resources, where Teck might put up US $5 million for generative exploration. That's a really powerful third-party validation. Shows Teck sees the potential too.
Right, so it's not just a high-grade find in isolation. It comes with infrastructure, major industry backing. For investors, that could mean, what, a faster, maybe less risky path to development, especially when the world needs so much copper.
Exactly. Demand for copper is surging, right? Electrification, green energy, infrastructure, it's everywhere. So finding new sources, especially in stable places like Kazakhstan, is incredibly valuable.
And it sounds like there's more news coming.
Definitely. Arras has a big 20,000-meter Phase 2 drill program going right now. Assays are still pending for multiple holes. So, yeah, expect significant news flow. That'll be crucial for really outlining the system's full potential.
Okay, good to know. Let's pivot now from base metals to precious metals. Heliostar Metals in Mexico, headline here. Heliostar Metals strikes high-grade gold in Mexico, advancing Ana Paula toward feasibility. Symbol HSTR, that's on the TSX Venture Exchange. They've just put out the first batch of results from their 2025 drill program at the Ana Paula Gold Project, and they are compelling. The lead intercept, get this, 30.2 meters grading 6.29 grams per ton gold, that's GOT, from about 196 meters down, but there's more. Other strong hits like 14.75 meters at 13.6 gram at gold, 20.95 meters at 6.67 gram at gold, and 12.2 meters at 8.72 gram gold. Expert, those are some serious gold grades. What's the strategic play here?
Well, the grades are obviously impressive, very high grade. But what's really fascinating, I think, is the strategy behind it. Heliostar is all about resource conversion. They're funding this big 15,000-meter drill program entirely from cash flow from their existing producing mines in Mexico.
Funding it themselves, okay.
Yeah, that shows real confidence. And they did something clever, too. They rotated the drill orientation 90 degrees compared to historical drilling. And that seems to have revealed more continuous higher-grade zones in what they call the high-grade panel, smart exploration.
So for you listening, what makes Heliostar stand out isn't just the flashy grades, though they are flashy. It's also that strategic execution funding this crucial work internally. It really de-risks the asset systematically, doesn't it? And it's in Mexico, a well-known mining jurisdiction.
You're absolutely right. And it's not just a one-off news release either. Heliostar expects to put out results monthly, right through 2025 and into 2026. So investors get continuous updates, real transparency as they progress. That sustained news flow is definitely a key indicator.
Okay, staying in Mexico for our next one. This company seems to be finding hidden value. Luca Mining, headline. Luca Mining strikes high-grade gold and silver at Campo Morado, unlocking new exploration upside. Symbol is LUCA, also on the TSX Venture Exchange. Luca has reported some, breakthrough drilling at their Campo Morado mine, specifically the Reforma deposit. Listen to this surface hole, CMRF 2507. 37.2 meters, grading 13.85 grams per ton gold equivalent. That's AUEQ, so gold plus silver value, including a bonanza intercept. 6.2 meters at an astonishing 43.77 GRT AUEQ.
Wow, 43 grams.
Incredible, right? And more surface hits. 39 meters at 10.05 Greeno AUEQ, which itself included 9.9 meters at 28.32 GOEQ, and another 7.5 meters at 12.59 GT AUEQ, with 3.9 meters at nearly 20 grano AUEQ. It's not just surface either, underground. 5.5 meters at 15.2 GT AUEQ that had 3.2 geometer ACUP and over 250 granite silver, plus 16.4 meters at 2.06 GOT AUEQ. Expert, these numbers are really jumping out. What's the bigger story here? Why is this so significant for Luca?
Yeah, those numbers are eye-popping. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the real significance is that Luca is looking at this historic mine, Campo Morado, which was known for base metals. And they're uncovering substantial precious metal potential gold and silver that previous operators just didn't focus on. It was overlooked.
So untapped value, essentially.
Exactly. Genuine untapped value. And hitting these wide, high-grade zones now, when gold's over $2,000, silver's near $30. It makes Luca's strategic shift look incredibly well-timed. Plus, this is the first real exploration push there since 2014. And like Heliostar, they're funding it from their own operational cash flow. That tells you a lot about management's confidence and the mine's economics.
So this isn't just finding something new, it's a fundamental shift, potentially changing the whole economic picture for the mine, extending its life. For you, the investor, the key takeaway is a company unlocking high-value potential in an existing asset and doing it with their own money.
Precisely. And they're not done. Phase 2 surface drilling at Reforma is starting soon. And they're looking across a whole portfolio of targets, 38 ranked targets, I believe. So, yeah, this project clearly has a lot more room to grow.
Fantastic. Okay, final headline for today. Let's circle back to critical minerals, this time in Newfoundland. New Age metals, the headline reads, New Age metals strikes high-grade antimony and gold in Newfoundland, launches phase 2 exploration. Symbol is NAM on the TSX Venture Exchange. New Age has reported some really promising results from their phase 1 fieldwork out there. They found stellar antimony grades up to 15.2% antimony, that's Sevio, at their Antimony Ridge property, and it comes with gold too, up to 1.52 grand pet gold at Citadel, 1.45 grand gold at Antimony Ridge. But wait, there's more. It sounds like they've got polymetallic potential too. Silver up to 131 grand hit, lead at 29.3% from the Fort property. Zinc, lead, copper at Rampart. Expert, this raises a big question. Antimony, why is that so critical right now? What makes 15.2% antimony so impactful?
That is the crucial question here. Antimony. It's vital. Used in flame retardants, batteries, specialized military alloys, critical for security for modern tech,
Right.
and the geopolitics. It's unprecedented. China dominates production, right? Well, they put in export restrictions, a U.S. shipment ban late last year. And antimony prices, they went ballistic, skyrocketed over 400% early this year, topping $60,000 a ton. 60,000.
Oh, 400%.
Yeah. So the need for new, secure North American sources, it's urgent. That makes NAM's discovery incredibly strategic. Finding high-grade antimony, especially with gold alongside it, that's a powerful economic and strategic mix.
So for anyone tracking this space, New Age metals seems to be hitting a sweet spot. Strong commodity tailwinds from antimony prices, plus geological potential in this emerging area, the beta spore belt.
Yeah.
It's quite a convergence, really highlights the potential investment case.
Absolutely. And they're moving quickly. Phase 2 follow-up work is already underway. They need to find the bedrock sources for these high-grade surface finds, obviously.
Yeah.
That's essential for defining a real resource and understanding the scale here.
What an incredible range we've covered today. Really a whirlwind deep dive. We've hit critical metals, niobium, antimony, absolutely essential for the future economy. We've seen high-grade copper and gold discoveries that could, reshape entire districts, and strategic resource conversion, adding real value to existing projects. So what does this all mean for you listening? It means that even in the sometimes overlooked small cap space, there are companies making truly significant progress, advances that could really redefine industries, deliver substantial value. We've brought you the compelling results, the drilling, the financials explain why it matters, and looked at the next steps for these companies.
And I think in a world just flooded with information, being able to discern the actual impact of these breaking news events,
Yeah.
based on the solid results, the numbers, that's the ultimate shortcut to being genuinely well-informed. So maybe the final thought is, what new questions do these discoveries spark for your own research into these companies?
Exactly. Use this deep dive as your springboard. Get started on your own further exploration. We're here to kick things off.